We're talking about Stonebridge Winery, it's some in-person event next week, and much, much more. So stay tuned. We're coming back right up.
Hey,
Canadian wine lovers! Happy Wine Wednesday, Mira Boucher.
Carl Boucher.
Welcome, welcome, Canadian wine lovers across the country. Everyone, Carl's Wine Club members, welcome to our weekly Wine Wednesday. There's so much to talk about this week. We are thrilled to have you all from everywhere, coast to coast. It's going to be a fun conversation about Canadian wines. So much going on all over the country. So, Mira, how do you feel?
I have a lot of them in front of me. I don't know what they are. Right. Awesome.
How cool is that,
it's
eh?
Wednesday, and there's like, how many wines here? 4, 7.
Seven. Yeah, because 7 was a great number. Yeah. Some wine that you haven't tried, some wine that you've tried, some wine that you've tried a lot. But I'll tell you one thing, they are all very, very world-class. Listen, we're going to introduce Stonebridge and Lely Vineyard because next week we are featuring them all. So I want people to know about it because we've been tasting some of these wines for already a week. And I'll tell you one thing.
Oh, you have.
Right?
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you're saying, but you're cutting out.
What do you mean you love to hear what I'm saying?
Oh, you keep cutting out.
No. Oh, no, that is too bad because...
What did you just say?
I'm just saying that we've been tasting. Well, we want to introduce people to Lely Stonebridge label because we are featuring them next week, and we're really freaking excited. We had so much fun tasting some of their Chardonnay. And tonight, just so you know, I introduced a new one in the lineup that you haven't tried yet. So, yeah. And yeah. So, no, Lely Stonebridge, absolutely world-class winery in Niagara on the Lake. Wine made by Anne Sperling and Peter Gamble. And we are so thrilled to introduce them to you. It's not up yet. It's not up this week, but next week. So we're going to taste. We have a 3, 4, 5, 4 Stonebridge wine and 1 Lely wine open tonight that we're going to talk about. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to taste 2 Meckwater Collection Meritage. And we're going to talk about event because we are hopping on the plane on Saturday night and we're going to be in Ontario, in Niagara, next Sunday morning, and yes, spending the whole week. So we want to keep you updated on where we're going to be and how it's going to happen. But we can't wait to see you in Niagara next week. Yeah. So, yeah. Did you have a sip of this thing?
Which one?
This thing. There's only one who looks like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this one.
There you go.
It has no label. The one with no label?
The one with no label. So, Pierre Nollet, comment ça va, mon homme? Un beau bonjour à tout le monde en français, nos amis de la belle province de Québec, de toutes les régions francophones du Canada, nos amateurs de vin canadiens, un beau bonsoir. C'est mercredi. On a débouché 8 bouteilles de vin en face de nous autres. On va goûter du vin qui sont bons en sacrament. On va vous dire une affaire. Mon Pierre Nollet, un beau bonsoir. Ça fait plaisir de te voir. Ça fait longtemps qu'on ne s'est pas jasé. Donc, tout le monde en français. Ce soir, on parle de Stonebridge Lely, un des vignobles les plus extraordinaires de Niagara-on-the-Lake. Ils font des vins incroyables, des Cabernet Sauvignon, des Cabernet Franc. Ils ont fait un Cabernet Franc, notre numéro 6 sur notre top 10 de l'année. Quand que je parle des meilleurs chardonnays au pays, Stonebridge font partie de ça. Donc, on va parler de ça, puis on va parler de notre semaine la semaine prochaine à Niagara parce qu'on prend l'avion samedi soir, on va être en Ontario dimanche matin, puis on passe la semaine au complet. Donc, un beau bonjour en français. Merci de nous suivre, ça fait plaisir. On est aussi sur YouTube, on est sur LinkedIn, on est présentement en direct aussi sur Instagram. Donc, on vous souhaite un beau bonsoir à tout le monde. Mira, I feel like if we're having some pretty heavy. There you go. So I'm on my own right now. I think we're dealing with some issue downstairs. Technical. This is funny how that thing works. We do this every week. And sometimes these stupid issues just pop up just like that. We don't know why. So anyway, I'm here. I'm going to taste wine with you guys. And hopefully Mira can join us very soon. But I have a bunch of wines from Lely and Stonebridge, which is the same winery. So Lely Vineyard was planted in the late 1970s. One of the oldest vineyards in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And so what happened there, it's one of the main guy who purchased the Lely Vineyard in 2020 have decided at the same time to keep growing the Stonebridge Vineyard and merge the two brands together. So Lely, that's the winery that we know already, and Stonebridge, it's the second label of Lely. These are super premium wines. But can compete with some of the best iconic wines from around the world. Hans Sperling, Peter Gamble making the wines, so some of the most acclaimed consultant winemaker in the country are behind the wine since 2020. So I think about 2019 when Peter Gamble joined the program. So some extraordinary wine. So tonight we have the 2018 Chardonnay, the 2019 Chardonnay, the 2019 Reserve East. So it's one block of the Stonebridge Vineyard, all wild ferment Chardonnay from the 4 Mile Creek appellation in Niagara-on-the-Lake, around the 22 to 26 months in oak barrel. These are plush, bold Chardonnay, New World style, but that wild ferment brings such an incredible complexity to it. And we can see the big difference between Niagara-on-the-Lake versus the bench, the Niagara Escarpment, but these wines are absolutely off the chart. And to start, I have an orange wine here. So skin fermented Vidal, and to throw a wrench in all of that operation, barrel fermented. So barrel fermented skin contact Vidal. Look at that color of that wine. It's orange. This is as geeky as you can get. I'm curious to see how long it took to ferment. It's 23 months of barrel aging after the barrel ferment. So take that here. Yeah, as geeky as you can get. I mean, for orange wine, amateur, like for people who like orange wine, this is right up there, bone dry, bright acid, but full of texture. Because, yeah, I mean, 23 months in barrel aging, that gives a ton of complexity, tons of layer. So it's really, really, really intriguing. So while I'm tasting the whole thing here, the whole lineup of Lely and Stonebridge. I'm not going to go through all of that because, next week we're going to be live on site at the winery in Niagara on the lake, right by Niagara River. So we're so thrilled to be there on site. And what we're doing a member event. If you are in Niagara next week on Wednesday from 4 to 6:30, we are going to be at Lely Stonebridge. We're going to record our live show live from there. We're going to have a ton of special guests because the whole concept of that is to bring the pros, the professional of the wine industry in Niagara to celebrate and rub shoulder with Carl's Wine Club members. So how cool is that? We already had 15 winemakers or winery owners from Niagara who's confirmed that they're going to come and spend time with us at Lely Stonebridge next Wednesday. You want a list of the name? You guys want to know who's going to join us? Who's going to come and taste some wine with us? It's going to be epic. Brian Schmid, vigneron, winemaker at Vineland Estate. Brian's going to be there. Richard De Silva is traveling with us all the way to Niagara. So he's going to be there chatting with with everyone on site, Carl's Wine Club members. So Richard De Silva, Brian Schmid, obviously. Marcel Morgenstern is going to be there. Friend of the show. Part of the family of Carl's Wine Club family. So Marcel from Bellaterra, Lou Puglisi, and Fred DiProfrio. So Fred, the winemaker also. So the Bellaterra crew are going to be there. Ron Geisbrecht, owner, winemaker at Wending Home, is going to be there. Christopher Culinary from Culinary Estate are going to be there. Gabriel DeMarco, winemaker at Cay Spring. Jeff Moot, owner, winemaker at Divergence. We have also Anne Sperling, Peter Gamble. Both of them are going to be on site. I have other people who confirmed today. Marzia Murdoch at 180 Wine. We're probably going to stop by. Susan Jensen and Dean, the winemaker at Stratus. So the Stratus team will be joining us as well. So that's going to be a heck of a party. If you are there, if you're in the region, for $25, it's worth coming and spend 2.5 hours with us because there's going to be some heavy hitter there. There's going to be some really cool people to chat wine. And these people are going to taste wine with us. We're going to record on Wine Wednesday. We're going to have Faik, which is the owner of Lely Stonebridge. It's going to be in interview with us. I have an interview with Anne Sperling and Peter Gamble that they're going to be in the house, but also in our interview. So it's going to be epic. Mike Latland, the average wine enthusiast, just joining at this moment. So Mike, happy Wine Wednesday. Welcome, brother. Can't wait to see you next Wednesday at Lely and Stonebridge. That's what we're talking about. Who's going to be on site in terms of Niagara wine personalities. So yeah, it's going to be a heck of a happy hour. Let's put it that way. Mira, have we fixed our technical issue?
So you were saying about this white that I have here. I have 4 whites, and this one that you said you can definitely tell which one it is. So that's the orange wine. Is that right?
This is white. This is Vidal, skin contact orange wine, wild ferment in oak barrel, and 23 months of oak aging.
Very interesting.
So this is as geeky as you can get, right? I mean, there was only 400 cases of that made. This is just, it smells like blood orange.
And which winery is that? Lely. Okay, so where we'll be next Wednesday. It's Stonebridge and Lely, 2 wineries in one place. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lely, it's an iconic vineyard. It was planted in the 70s. And Mr. and Madame Lely were very, very known. That's some of the best growers in Niagara on the Lake. And they sold. And after a couple of years of foreign ownership, Fayek purchased and brought on board Peter Gamble to start and Anne follow suite to complete the team. So that's a little bit of the chronology here. But that vineyard was established in the 70s. And for a long time, it was a source of some of the best fruits. The best grapes of Niagara on the Lake was on the Lely property. So
super cool. Super cool.
super
And it's
cool.
great to see it being honored that way. Like it sounds like we'll talk more with Fayek next Wednesday, right? The owner, but it sounds like he's really on a mission to honor like the history of it and the terroir and let that get expressed through the wines. Rob Hammersley orange wine is quite interesting. The Gewurz comes on big. I think we tasted that one, Mike.
We
I
sure
guess
did. We sure did. Absolutely.
got his club wines probably from Black Market Wine Company, who, by the way, segue, Mike, segue. Black Market Wine Company in BC, they were our first ever Members' Choice Winery of the Year 2 years ago. Last year it was De Silva Vineyards. And tonight we're going to talk about our nominees, our shortlist for Winery of the Year, so that you guys can vote for our top winery of the year, the Members' Choice. So, yeah.
That's going to be interesting. So, do we want? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mira.
Well, Rob at Black Market also makes an orange wine, Gewurz.
Yeah, brand new to his portfolio. This is the first time that he's making that style of wine, and it's a big hit. We tasted that wine, Mira, all the way back early, like late winter, I believe. We had a dinner out there.
And that was just bottled, or possibly right before bottling.
That was already no. That was, I think you're right. It was in barrel. It was pre-bottling when we tasted that, and I remember doing a post. Not a post, but we did probably a story on that. Just saying that, holy shit, this is going to be the hit of the spring. And I'm hearing from Black Market Wine Club members that this is the shit. And I know I've tasted it another time after being in bottle, and the really unique style of Rob Hammersley in that bottle, really, really, really cool. So Daryl, you have to be patient. Your bottle is going to be up your way very soon, I guess. But yeah, very, very, very good Gewürztraminer orange. And what I have here tonight is from Lely Vineyard. It's Vidal Skin Contact, barrel for wild ferment, barrel fermented, and barrel aged for 23 months. So here is the color of that. This is as geeky as it gets. Once in a while, I mean, I won't drink that. I would not drink that on a daily basis. This will not be my daily wine. But once in a while, this is super cool. It's real cool. Completely off the beaten track. Different flavor profile, bright, zingy acid, but also a little caramel who's developing throughout. There's a little bit of a floral note as well, but citrusy. And I mean, it smells like blood orange in there.
So this reminds me of those upside down cakes they had like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like probably the caramel is what's getting me that, and the vanilla, right? But yeah, it's super interesting. Very nerdy. Yeah. And like you said, it's not for everyday drinking, but it's perfect for, especially if you have some wine friends over to kind of.
Oh yeah, if you want to throw a wrench at someone with a little brown bag contest here, I mean, this is a lot of fun to do. And the color is explosive. The aromas are fantastic. The flavor profile is unique and delicious. I mean, unique, but not weird, like weird, wonky. No, it's not what it is. It's clean. It's clean. It's zippy. It's linear. Nothing to complain about. So, yeah.
So Daryl is saying, breaking news here, is saying he might try to come next week while we're in Niagara. So Daryl, I don't know if you can make next Wednesday evening work. If you and Sandy can stop by, that would be a lot of fun. We start at about 4. Carl and I will probably be there around 3 to set up, and then we start everyone.
I don't know if Daryl, you had the chance. You were there at the beginning of the show when I named the lineup of the industry people. If not, send a note here. I will repeat a little bit who's going to be on site with us in terms of
really
Ontario. Just tell me yes or no so I don't repeat myself. But
it'll be fun. Daryl, if you guys come out earlier, we're also visiting with Wending Home. It's a new winery on our radar. Wending Home at 1:30. Mike and Jennifer are going to be there for that with us.
And not only that, they just took home gold medal at Chardonnay du Monde. So a big prize that Ron brings home from one of the top Chardonnay contests around the world. So congratulations to Ron and his team at Wending Home. But the way that he was telling me, I think they don't make more than something like 2,000 or 3,000 cases a year. Like, this is a very, very tiny operation at Wending Home, and it came to my radar a year ago, and I did not really heard back from it, and now boom, it's coming from every angle. So really, really cool.
And where is Wending Home? It's
Niagara on the Lake, I believe, just around the corner from 13th Street.
Is it? I don't think
just
so.
around the corner from 13th.
What I know, Rob, is it's right near where Anne Sperling has her Dobbin estate.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Not Niagara on the Lake. You are correct. I'm sorry. I think it's Jordan.
Anywhere near Niagara on the Lake.
It's 25, 30 minutes. Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. It's King Street. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I'm a foreigner, so I won't pretend that I know every twist and turn of. But
what's cool, really cool is the couple that started Wending Home. They're longtime students, and he's a longtime teacher at Niagara College in viticulture, I believe, and winemaking. So really knows his stuff, and this is like his home estate, I think, that he's been farming for a long time. So just the kind of winery we love to hear about from our members, and the fact that he recently won some amazing awards just tells us that we better get over there and see what this is all about. So they're on, they are, okay, I don't know how to describe this area, but Rob, you remember Rockaway Vineyards and the house we stayed at the Pan-Canadian Masterclass last summer in Niagara? They're in that vicinity. So the closest winery near there that I see, 13th Street is 5 minutes away. Yeah.
Butter tart.
Yeah. So the plan was we go there after lunch with Anne Sperling. We meet with Mike LaPlante and Jennifer at Wending Home. And then we go around the corner 5 minutes away and get butter tarts from 13th Street. And then we go to our live show at Stonebridge with all y'all. And
again, I mentioned it before, Mira, and I mention it again. If we haven't got to 13th Street Bakery before that, I will be a very grumpy ass. I will be a very unpleasant human being. We're arriving on Sunday. I am not waiting until Wednesday afternoon to get my first butter tart. It ain't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna get a butter tart from anywhere else. It ain't gonna happen. We're arriving on Sunday.
It would be sacrilege to get butter tarts anywhere else if you have access to 13th Street. In fact, I think we need to, because I already prepaid some shipping labels, thinking we're going to need to ship back some wine, most likely from Niagara. I think we should be shipping back some 13th Street butter tarts and flash freeze them on arrival and keep them, like a freezer full of them.
something needs to happen. And and anyway, so but yeah, so just to recap for the people who just join us, okay, Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, we have a get together, Carl's Wine Club members and people from the Ontario Niagara wine industry. So you guys as members, you come and join us at Lely Stonebridge. You have for $25 cheese and charcuterie, a flight of wine from Lely Stonebridge, and a bunch of Niagara wine celebrity in the room. Anne Sperling, Peter Gamble, Brian Schmidt, Marcel Morgenstern, Fred DeProfrio. We have the crew at Stratus, so Susan Jensen and Dean, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel DeMarco, winemaker at Cave Spring. We have Jeff Moot, owner at Divergence. Ron Geisbrecht, can you please help me here?
Yeah, from Wending Home. I think he's going to stop by after.
Yeah, he did. Christopher Coroneri. So there are a long list of Niagara wine people who are going to be coming and celebrate with us and Carl's Wine Club members.
Correct,
so
Daryl, that's correct.
Yeah, so here we are. So that's for next Wednesday. So we are thrilled and excited. And the next week, our weekly feature, just like that, it happened to be Lely and Stonebridge. So we're going to have 9 wines. No, I think it's 10 wines, 10 or 11 wines from Lely and Stonebridge. I know Mira's going to hate me. There's so many that I have selected. I couldn't cut anyone off the lineup. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of wines available. So yeah. That's for next week. And how
what's
about
exciting is part of the reason we're there. Okay, the first reason we're there is because the Ontario Craft Wineries Association asked us to come out to speak at their conference on the Tuesday. We're doing the live show at Lely and Stonebridge on the Wednesday next week. And then on the Thursday, we have the Cellar Gems tasting, which I know Mike is also joining us at. I know Dale is a new member. He's joining us. And we did have 2 tickets open up. So it's a sold out event. There was a wait list. It went to the 3 or 4 people on the wait list. They can't make
that was more than that. I think there was 12 people on the wait list. But what happened here, and I asked the Académie du Vin to have the priority on these 2 tickets. So I wanted to offer them to our members, unless to leave these tickets to go to the Vintage Conservatory waiting list, but I wanted to offer them to our members first.
There you go. So if there's anyone who is like, oh, and Simon Ledcham is also joining us, a member in Toronto there. So I sent an email earlier today to our Toronto members, and there was a little PS about those 2 tickets. But if you are in Toronto and you want to snag those last 2 spots to the tasting. So what it is it's pretty cool. And I think we really need to report back, possibly a live at some point next week to talk about what we found out. But we are opening 10 Canadian back vintages. 10
Canadian back vintages from Nova Scotia, 1 from Nova Scotia, 4 from Ontario, and 5 from British Columbia, all going back to 2006, between 2006 and 2015. So these wines that we've tasted live with you guys a week ago, just to see how they're showing, these wines are pretty much all 93 to 96 points. Like, these are the crown jewel of the Canadian wine industry, with some age to it, from the 2006 Stratus White, 2014 Cave Spring CSV, Hidden Bench 2013 Chardonnay, 2012 Leading Post Laurie Vineyard, Mirabelle from the Okanagan, Mirabelle Reserve 2016, the Silva Legato Merlot 2012, Painted Rock 2014, Cab Franc, our wine of the year, number one wine of the year, will be served there. The Riverstone Milestone 2015, the 2014 Spadefoot Toad Syrah from Summerhill. So 10 bomb, 10 like iconic Canadian wine will be served there alongside iconic international gem. So now the whole purpose of that is to show people how well our Canadian wine can age. So it's going to be absolutely incredible. We have a treat, a 1988 Chateau d'Yquem. If you know about these Grand Cru Classés from Bordeaux, Chateau d'Yquem is one of the most famous wine in the world. Chateau d'Yquem 1888 is going to be open that night from l'Académie du Vin. So yeah, like an incredible night will be is on deck here at the Vintage Conservatory on King Street in Toronto. So there's 2 tickets that we would like to offer to our members. So let us know if you're in the area. It's Thursday night, the 25th of April, next Thursday, starting at 6 at the Vintage Conservatory. So a heck of an event. We can't wait. This has been put together in collaboration with Marc Nadeau, who owns l'Académie du Vin in Toronto. So yeah.
Amazing. And it sounds like Daryl's in for Wine Wednesday in person in Niagara next Wednesday. So that's an awesome choice, Daryl. I love it. I can't wait to see you. That'll be great. And hopefully Sandy can make it too. That'll be even more amazing.
Daryl, if Sandy's coming, I don't want to ask personally, but maybe she can bring a little bit of baking with her. I'm just saying, we as a group spent a few nights all together and a big house that we rented for Carl's Wine Club last year, and Sandy absolutely blew my socks off with her baking. So maybe, I'm just saying, maybe. Okay, maybe. But,
I think it's great. So with the wineries of the year, let's talk about that, because we wanted to announce the short list tonight, and then you'll get an email first thing tomorrow with a voting link. So because I say this because part of the reason we were in that Airbnb all together last summer was because we were celebrating that Sue-Ann Staff was our winery of the year for Ontario last year. And we had a bit of an event there, as well as the Pan-Canadian Masterclass. So that's what happened last August. This year, we'd like to do the same thing, probably in the fall, with our Winery of the Year winner in Ontario and our Winery of the Year winner in BC. And for those of you that know this, you'll get to see some fun pictures. And for those of you that are newer, the Winery of the Year, you'll get the inside scoop here. The Winery of the Year started about 3.5 years ago, near the start of Carl's Wine Club, when we were live like this during the pandemic. Do you remember that? During the pandemic, where this is like the thing we looked forward to all week. And some members were saying we should pick a Winery of the Year. And then if we pick a Winery of the Year and we vote on it, then we should go have a party at their winery. And we were all dreaming of the day where we could go and gather in person again at a winery. So we did it. So our first Winery of the Year for BC was Black Market Wine Company. Rob Hammersley, owner, winemaker, is here in the live with us right now. That's so cool. And for Ontario, it was Bella Terra Vineyards. And we threw some amazing parties at both wineries. Didn't we, Carl?
So yeah, and I agree but where everything shift in that whole program, because I have to say, there was Mira's idea, and she wanted to do that on a yearly basis, becoming an annual and all that. But when we like Black Market, okay, perfect, we're gonna host our first hog roast and this and that. So Marcel Morgenstern, all the way in Ontario, celebrating himself his own award, told him our plan to throw the party at Black Market. And Marcel said, guess what? We're going to go to this party. We want to take the plane and we want to go out there and we want to go visit BC and meet with our winery of the year BC counterpart. We're like, holy fuck, this is a great idea. Awesome. So we tell the whole thing to Rob Hammersley and Michelle at Black Market that they said, guess what? If they do that, we're going to go to Ontario to their party. And that's how everything started. I mean, that cross-pan-Canadian collaboration, that friendship, that exchange of information, and the whole community took a different size. The pan-Canadian terminology absolutely took most of its sense with this decision. So we got Lou Puglisi, the owner, grower at Bellaterra, and Marcel and Fred hopped on the plane, came to Black Market, and we had an incredible party. A couple months later, we hop on the plane and we go all the way to Ontario with Michelle and Rob and the Black Market crew, and we were hosted like kings and queens at Bellaterra and with Carl's Wine Club members. Boom, year one. Year two, Richard De Silva and Sue and staff, same thing. Richard flew to Ontario. So, I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, like, we're building something pretty cool. And
here. Oh my God, I deleted them because I needed space probably. Look, this, just so you know, we're not lying. Oh, this was the De Silva event this last year. This was really cool because we tasted Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc, different wines alongside the grapes in the vineyard.
It was Sauvignon Blanc, it was Chenin Blanc, and it was Chardonnay. These three grape varietals alongside the grape off the vines 2 weeks prior to harvest. So yeah,
really special. And then this is one of my favorite pictures ever because it is two winemakers from across the country. Fred DeProfio from our member winery of the year in Ontario, holding a Black Market bottle, and Rob Hammersley at Black Market holding a Bellaterra bottle. So two winemakers from all the way across the country meeting together at our winery of the year event. Super cool.
Right on the side of the Skaha Lake in Caledon, BC. So it was something pretty special and pretty unique. And we have the same, there you go. So, and this is a couple months later, our crew all the way to Ontario now. We were hosted by Brian Schmidt. That was our infamous tailgating party at the boutique vineyard owned by Vineland. So
yeah, and I don't have the pictures of Sue-Ann's, but that was really special too. Very magical by her lake there in her big tent, and then we went wine touring together. Like, so it's just fantastic. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I can't wait to share who we've got nominated for the top 3 that members can vote on.
Absolutely. It's a very exciting time. So, and for the next week or so, we're going to promote. We're going to give you some times to vote for either of the 3 nominees for BC and Ontario. And after that, we're going to start putting some plan together. So yeah, here we are now. So Mira, do you want to start with the 3 nominees from Ontario or BC? You're the boss. You tell me where you want to go.
Sure. Let's start with BC. Let's go like west to east. So the idea with the nominees is we feature anywhere from like 30 to 45 wineries every year, depending on how many times we repeat a winery. Sometimes we do that just because popular demand. We want to see their new releases. But the wineries we discovered last year. So in 2023, Carl has a nice big book here. That's where all the winery names go in. And we went through all those and we talked about it the last few weeks. Which winery stood out for us in terms of the quality of the wine, but also which winery stood out in terms of how we were treated as members, in terms of the customer service that our members got, in terms of how personable the winery was with us, in terms of the story behind the winery. What else do we think about, Carl? Like,
oh, and how engaged they are with us on social media, and like I think it's the global connection that we had the privilege to build. It's not about friendship. It's not about who. It's all about how they have embraced the relationship with not only Carl's Wine Club but with the members of Carl's Wine Club. Like that, I think that's what I'm looking at the most, and I think from that. I mean, our previous 4 wineries of the year, it's exactly what it means, right? See how many people have joined Bellaterra Wine Club, Black Market Wine Company's Wine Club, from their relationship, from how genuine, how generous in terms of their knowledge and wines these owners were, and people just wanted to gravitate around these people. So that's what we're looking for. And I mean, there's no shortage of options here. The toughest part was to nail down go down to 3 in each region. So that was the toughest part. So here we are now in April, and so it's time for a vote.
Exactly. So once members vote, then what we do is we reach out. Well, we'll probably reach out to the 3 wineries that we'll announce here as our nominees right away and let them know you've been nominated. But once the votes close, we'll reach out to the winning winery and we will plan a date, probably this fall, where we can go out and visit the winery and celebrate. And we might also have a bit of a celebration wine pack at some point during the year. For instance, last time we did this, and Sue Ann's staff was our Ontario Winery of the Year. She let us have access to her library of wines that you can't really access any other way. And that was pretty epic. So it was a good way to celebrate. Oh, Daryl and Sandy are now coming, confirmed, for Wine Wednesday at Stonebridge next Wednesday. That is awesome. I love it.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see you, Daryl. And hey, you can mention to Sandy if she wants to bake something. No, I'm just joking.
I know. She asked what we want her to bake, and I was very polite. I said anything she bakes will disappear in moments and be heartily appreciated. But of course, if there is a special request, I mean, those macaroons were... Okay,
I want some macaroon, for God's sake.
She is a very epic baker.
Yeah,
sure.
there you go. Thank you, Daryl. Looking forward to be tasting with you next week, Daryl. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, BC. Nominees.
Winery of the Year nominees. Dun, da, da, da. We have Mythology Vineyard as one of our top 3 that we have shortlisted for you guys.
So Mark Simpson at Mythology Vineyard. I mean, we have the privilege for 3 years now to have this relationship going. Mark purchased the beautiful estate at Sonora Desert last year. He's been working his tail off to establish Mythology brand. And we did a feature with him. I would say it was in the fall, and a huge success. And I know that Carl's Wine Club members enjoy what Mark's doing, and he enjoys his wine. We enjoy his personality, how genuine and generous he is. So yeah, Mark Simpson, Mythology Vineyard nominees, number 1 for the BC Winery of the Year. Number 2, Mira.
Yes. Number 2 is actually the winery responsible for our number 1 wine of the year last year. Surprise, surprise. We really liked their wines. And it's Riverstone Estate Winery in Oliver,
BC. Yeah. Oliver, BC. So the maker of our top wine of the year, the Riverstone Milestone. So Ted Kane, owner of Riverstone, has built a fantastic program out there. there's such a typicity in his wines, and I won't lie to you, I'm pretty excited with the hiring of their new general manager that we know fairly well. So he's building a dream team at Riverstone, but he already has a dream portfolio. So we're excited. Nominee number 2, it's Riverstone Winery in Oliver, BC. Number 3, our third nominees for the BC Winery of the Year is
Maverick
Estate Winery. I mean, every year Maverick blow us off, like absolutely, like impress us with their with the quality of their wine. They're making the very famous Bush Vine Syrah that it's one of Mira's favorite every year. They also make a great Chardonnay, but they have their red blend as well, the Rubius, and also one of the wine that I really truly enjoy every year is their Bush Vine Syrah. So Maverick Estate is our third nominee. So just to recap, our 3 BC nominees for the Winery of the Years are Mythology Vineyard, Riverstone Estate Winery, and Maverick.
Yeah, amazing. So now we're gonna go to Ontario.
There you go. So nominee number 1 from Ontario, Daryl just skipped the beat and absolutely stole the show here. That was one of our 3 nominee. So nominee number 1, Elia Senchuk, Nadia Senchuk at Leading Post Winery. So here we go. Nominee number 1.
And I think it's important. I've lost where you are here, but hopefully you can hear me. So I think it's really important to mention that we have had magical experiences at Leaning Post, and that's part of why they're nominated. I think last summer at the Pan Canadian, Daryl, Sandy was there, Rob was there with Michelle, and it was just magical, wasn't it?
It was incredible. We were jet lag as fuck because we had not sleep, and we drove. We had the coolest breakfast in a little hole in the wall in Hamilton. And from there, after we absolutely pounded 5 pots of coffee, we headed up to Leading Post. It was 10 a.m. and I swear, I think we were still there by 2 p.m. We had tasted probably 25 wine by then. It's always just magical when we talking with Elia and Nadia. They're just like incredibly knowledgeable and personable people. So yes, Leading Post nominee number 1.
Nice hearty breakfast, and then it was like, yeah. But they pull out all the stops. They're so passionate. They're going to be at so they were also involved with the Pan Canadian Masterclass, and they're going to be at the Cellar Gems tasting. Ilya is going to come in person because he's that kind of a guy.
Oh, listen to that. Not only he's the chair of the Ontario Craft Conference, so he's going to be there. He's leading a session at the Craft Conference. He's part of the. He's traveling to BC for the Pan Canadian this year. Here, he's part of the Cellar Gem. I mean, like how not having him as a nominee for a Winery of the Year? So, God damn it.
Absolutely. So who else are we?
By the way, I think we forget one detail.
What's that?
They make some killer wines.
Oh my God. Yes. Of course.
And I will never forget that 2 years ago, the first time we went there, we discovered them for the very first time. Our kids were fairly young, and they also have 3 or 4 kids, our kids' age. And it was 35 degrees out there. And we had our kids running down the Senchuk Vineyard, up and down the vineyard.
They left their shoes somewhere in the vineyard. I think to this day, I don't know where the
Yeah,
shoes are.
I know. So I will never forget that. Never, ever, ever. So yeah.
It was magic. It was amazing. They filmed a pretty epic eclipse recently. They had the eclipse show up pretty brilliantly at their location this last couple weeks here when the eclipse happened. The Geek Riesling is still one of my favorite wines from last year. Yeah, they make some incredible wines. I mean, we're opening the 2012 Lowry Vineyard Pinot Noir from there, right? Next
Well, Rob
Wednesday.
had the chance to be with us when we retasted these gem last week, and
Yeah,
one of our favorite of the whole lineup, that's for sure. So nominee number one,
right.
nominee number two is
Ice Cellars.
there you go, Adnan Aysel. Adnan Aysel, Elif Aysel from Niagara on the Lake. They make these big and bold and juicy wine that made our number two wine of the year this year. It's the Syrah, the Wismar Park Syrah from the 2020 vintage, and then the best Syrah that I tasted last year. But not only that, they are amazing people. He has such an incredible program now. They are energy neutral winery. Don't ask me to explain the whole thing, but
basically, Adnan Aysel was an engineer, prior to becoming a winemaker, and he figured out a way to set up like a geothermal grid under the winery, and like basically, there's points in time where he's selling energy back to the grid because the winery is so sustainably set up. So, what are you tasting there, Carl Boucher?
I'm Chardonnaying.
You're Chardonnaying out?
I'm Chardonnaying out.
You have quite a few open, huh?
Yeah.
Which one are you?
It's incredible as the 2018 is completely different. So much more, much flintier.
Than the 19?
Yeah. The 18.
From
I just
Stonebridge?
opened. Yeah, I just opened it. This is your glass with the 18 here.
Oh, so I don't have that glass here.
You sure do. You sure do. If you look through your collection that you have, and you have one with the 18.
Yes, this one. Okay, it still has.
Yes. So it's a new one that completely different. This is the 19 regular. Oops. This is the Reserve East. Oops. So yeah, and now I'm geeking out on the 18. So
Daryl's killing me because he has psychic intuition. So Daryl has already guessed Leaning Post. I don't think he guessed Ice Cellars. We threw one on him with that one, but he just guessed our third nominee, which is Batchelder. How can we not? I mean, such an amazing winery.
So number three, our third nominees, Thomas and Mary Batchelder. I mean, do we need to introduce them more than come on. They are I think they are the face of that sub-appellation, single vineyard, single block movement that we're seeing in Ontario. They bring so much to raise the bar in terms of quality of Chardonnays and Pinot Noir and now Gamay. But I mean, when I've said a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we featured them, when I mentioned that he is, to my opinion, probably the best winemaker in Canada, that, I mean, I'm still like look at the nominees that we all put together. But I mean, in terms of the godfather of the extreme quality wine and the terroir-driven movement, Thomas Batchelder is absolutely unique. What he brought to advance the Ontario winemaking community in terms of precision, in terms of terroir and everything. So Thomas, absolutely. And
Daryl
we're going to
says
be,
their Gamay rules, and it's true. I mean, Thomas Batchelder, you know, Carl was always a Chardonnay fan, Pinot Noir to some degree, but Thomas Batchelder converted Carl Boucher on Gamay. I can say that, hey?
I mean, I can't argue on that. I always been, hey, you know what? We're gonna taste. I'm gonna rate. I'm gonna go. I'll do my stuff like objectively. I'm gonna rate the wine, not my taste. But at the end of the day, I never really connect with Gamay. It was the same thing 15, 20 years ago when I went to the whole course in the Beaujolais Cru and the taste. I never connected with the profile. And guess what? I'm hooked. Thomas absolutely converted me that this year. Wismer Foxcroft 2021 Gamay absolutely blew my socks off. Last year, the Bijou Gamay was the first time that I had a heart. No, I can't say that. That I had that I had a soft spot for a Gamay, and I mean, yeah, not even Morgon. I mean, Daryl. I've never said that I disliked them. I've never said that, but I never had Saint Amour. It's another outstanding. The Cru Saint Amour are great wine, but it's never something that I was attracted to in terms of flavor profile. Morgon, also Saint Vivant, like all of that. So, but now I mean. I'm ready. I'm ready. And maybe I should visit the Cru Beaujolais and see the impact of Thomas Batchelder on my international wine journey, I guess. So yeah.
Oh, I have great news. So John and Michelle, J&M Wine on Instagram, they just got their tickets. They're also coming next Wednesday. So that is great. Woo-hoo! I can't wait to see you guys in person finally.
There you go. That's fantastic. It's such a great news. I'm not sure if James Railton is in the area. Maybe he's on the trip somewhere and he's not around, but I'll reach out to him. I had the chance to be at Rennie Estate with them when we did a special tasting a couple years ago. So anyway, I think that we're going to have an outstanding group of people there, and it's going to be a lot of fun because tasting through that portfolio of Stonebridge and Lady. I mean, the average wine enthusiast, Mike Laplante, was with us on site last year after our epic journey at Leaning Post. Daryl was there as well at Stonebridge and Lady with us. I mean, guys, you know, you can put a comment there how spectacular these wines are. So yeah, we're going to be there rubbing shoulders with some of the pros of the industry. I can't wait to meet Gabriel DeMarco in person, the winemaker at Case-Spring. Yeah, and like it's going to be epic. It's going to be absolutely epic. I can't wait to be there. So yeah.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
Should I recap or six?
Lorna's one of these transplants. I mean, came from West Kelowna all the way to meet us at the Pan Canadian last year, just like Jeanette and Danny came from the Lower Mainland, Vancouver. So that's really, really cool. I love it. I love this cross-pollination of Canadian wine lovers and Canadian winemakers, and it's gonna be so much fun.
One of the best things that we haven't been part of. I mean, to me, that picture of Fred and Rob together, that picture of Richard De Silva and Suan staff together in the vineyard at Suan. These are things that's the definition of Carl's Wine Club. The party that we have under the tent at Bellaterra with the sabering station and the tractor and come on, like how special these things are, right? So yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see those who can make it.
So Dale said he's going to be there on Friday. Hopefully, You mean on Thursday, Dale?
I hope you mean Thursday. Thursday is the Cellar Gems tasting I have you down for. I'm about to send emails about all these events tonight to those that have registered. So you have all the details in one place, and I'll schedule some automatic reminders so nobody gets their time and day mixed up, hopefully. But it'll be so much fun. Oh, Laylee on Friday. Oh, this Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fantastic, Dale. That's great.
Yeah, I get that now.
Pre-vet these wines for other members, because we are actually featuring, surprise, surprise, we're featuring Stonebridge and Laylee next week. So you'll get all of Carl's tasting notes and scores.
Coming up very soon on Sunday night or Monday, depending on where we're at into our arrival. I'll tell you all, if you haven't received our tasting note and the offer by Sunday night, that's mean that we're on the way to 13th Street to get some butter tart. That's the only reason why.
You railed us. Yeah. Okay. I have one more quick thing to ask, because I want to mention, okay, if you can't come to Niagara, maybe BC is closer for you. June 15th, we're doing the Pan Canadian 2.0 in BC in Oliver at Hester Creek Winery. And I want to know, because Carl, you have been talking to a certain Mr. Daniel Bontarin about doing a rosé vertical again near the Pan Canadian timing.
So the day before the Pan Canadian on Saturday, June the 15th, or the Friday, June the 14th, we're planning 8 vintages all the way back to 2015, single vineyard, single varietal, back vintage rosé by the rosé master himself, Daniel Bontarin. We're going to revisit Fruitvale Ridge Vineyard Cabernet Franc from 2015 all the way to the last release in 2023. That, by the way, will be exclusively offered to Carl's Wine Club members. On May the 12th, we're going to feature Tractor and Vines 2023 and Fruitvale Ridge 2023. Just for your information, the 2023 Fruitvale Ridge, the Cabernet Franc, will not be released this year. Only next spring, and Carl's Wine Club member are the only place to get that wine for the next year. This is really fucking cool. I'm telling you, this is real cool.
Yes. It sounds like also potentially there will be a parking lot exchange at Stonebridge next week, because there's now a thing, like, you know how there used to be, what did they call it? The mailman that would, like, the neighborhood, post or something. Like there's a Carl's Wine Club post now. So it sounds like Mike is bringing Daryl's rosés from 7 Directions, bringing them to the Stonebridge event next Wednesday so they can exchange wines. Because these guys, like, they pool their shipments sometimes, which is a great idea, because then if you don't want to order a whole case of something, you can still get the free shipping that's often offered with bigger shipments, right? So it's a great idea.
Really, really, really cool. So here we have, we have our
Mike's rosés. Sorry, I got mixed up there. Daryl has Mike's rosés.
So we have our 6 nominees. Mythology, Riverstone, and Maverick from BC, Batchelder, Leading Post, and Ice Cellar for Ontario. Tomorrow, the vote is open. I'll let you go with that. Now, next week, we're tasting Stonebridge and Laylee wines. And I have open here the 2018 Stonebridge Vineyard, 2019 Stonebridge Vineyard, and 2019 Stonebridge Reserve East. These 3 Chardonnays are off the chart. The 19 regular, which is $60, it's so impressive for that price. It's a 93 points, and the East Reserve East. That's so much precision into that. It truly reminds me by Zoo last year that from Thomas Batchelder. That totally remind me the Bijou, but on steroid. I mean, I love what Thomas is doing, but in terms of Niagara on the Lake and OTL Chardonnay, that is the top that I've had. The East has a precision and a line of minerality that is rarely seen in Niagara on the Lake. So absolutely incredible. 94 points and Carl's Wine Club for the Reserve East. Reserve West was a little bit more plush, a little bit more luscious, a little bit more voluptuous. It's a 93 plus wine. All of these wines have been rated extremely high. The 2019 Reserve East has won Chardonnay du Monde gold medal last year as well. So yeah, outstanding Chardonnay. And guess what? When you know that Peter Gamble and Anne Sperling are behind the winemaking of these wines, it's not surprising. So these Chardonnays are absolutely off the chart. 93 plus, and 94 points for these three Chardonnay. The East, the Reserve East, Reserve West, and 19 Stonebridge Vineyard. All 19 vintage, to my opinion, one of the best vintage of for Chardonnay in this area. Tune in for the interview with Peter Gamble and Anne Sperling. We're touching that subject, talking about the 19 vintage for Chardonnay in our interview. So just a wink.
After the interview, we're going to do a bit of a blind tasting. Is that still the case?
It's still the case. Blind tasting, Reserve West and Reserve East.
I don't want to break my glasses. Sorry. It's just there's so many of them. It's hard to keep
blind tasting. We want to do a poll. Which one's going to come up on top? Is it the West, the Reserve West, or the Reserve East? We're going to go. We're going to blind taste a few people there. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
Sandy is now debating if she might make macarons or she might make madeleines. Madeleines, I have to say, I love madeleines. Any of these would go great with Chardonnay, right? I mean,
I have no preference, Sandy.
Yes, it'll be amazing. And you know what, Sandy, if you run out of time, don't worry. We will still be thrilled to just taste wine and have some charcuterie and have a lot of fun and just dream about the madeleines. It'll still be good just to dream about them.
Before we go, I just want to touch base quickly on the McWater collection from Times Family of Wine. Sorry. Because when we talk about a wine from the same winery, two different vintage, who comes up with a complete different result. It's so interesting. I have the Meritage, the Red Meritage 18 and 19, not 19, there was no 19, but the 2020. Texturally, these wines are so different. And I wanted to just talk to people about it because these two wines are sensational. These two wines are fantastic. I loved both. The 18 was soft and round and silky, while the 2020 was more rigid, a little bit more snappy. The structure is so solid. The tannin is still grippy, but the whole thing lasts forever. So these two wines are so diametrally at the opposite of the spectrum, but both very, very delicious. So I want to congratulate Time Winery for the McWater Collection Meritage Red, because these two wines, as different as they can be, they're just so freaking delicious and so cool to taste side by side that I really, really, really enjoy. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to Lindsay and her team at Times.
Absolutely. They're doing an amazing job. And Really awesome. Awesome to see that. Dale is saying, it sounds like Dale has a club shipment coming from Stonebridge, and he has 2 of the 2020 East on the way. That's not one of the ones you've tasted here, right?
No, it's 2019. I have
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on 19. I haven't touched the 20s from Stonebridge. 19 is showing so freaking amazing right now that I'm not ready to taste any of the 20s right now. So no, I'm geeking out.
The thing. Carl has a big soft spot for the 2019 whites in Niagara. 2019, especially the Chardonnays in 2019. They're right up Carl's alley. They're right up what you enjoy, aren't they, Carl? And 2020 was a big vintage. We recently featured some of Thomas Batchelder's 2020 shards, and we were impressed by how he was able to maintain the elegance in the wines, even though it was so hot, right?
I would say so, Dale. I mean, 2020 has this. Some of the biggest attribute, the biggest quality of the 2020 can become one of his enemy in the sense that big, bold, and it's such a warm vintage that can't alter the longevity and the aging potential of the Chardonnay. I believe that 19 will outlast the 20. And we're talking Chardonnay here. We're not talking Syrah. We're not talking Cab Franc. We're not talking Merlot or Cabs. We are talking Chardonnay. And 19 provided a colder temperature, preserved the acidity much better than 2020. 2020, they had to fight to preserve the acidity. 2019 was just there. And plenty of it, which made some vibrant wine, which made some wine with energy, with personality. So to my opinion, 19 is more suited for Chardonnay. But guess what? A good winery, a good winemaker will make wines with the vintage. He's not going to fight the vintage, and he's going to deliver something with the personality of the source of the grape. So, Stonebridge, I truly believe that Anne Sperling and Peter Gamble will deliver some jam in 2020, as much as Thomas Batchelder did, as much as Ilya Senchuk did with Leaning Post, in their own world, in their own bubble, with their own vineyard source. But with that said, if you give me the choice between 19 and 20, I'm going to go pick the 19 first, because it's my personal. I like my wine vibrant. I like my wine with the beautiful frame of acidity. That's just my personal opinion. Now, speaking about 2020, Dale, this is 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon from Lely. I got that wine with my Enovino, because this bad boy absolutely needed to be Enovino'd. 124 cases. So a small, tiny batch of 5 barrels of Cabernet Sauvignon from the Stonebridge Vineyard, from, using Adnan Aisel's terminology, the vintage of the century. Now it's very applicable for that wine because it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon absolutely loved the 2020 vintage. This is the perfect fit for the 2020 vintage. If you ask me to choose between 19 and 20 for a Cab Sauv, I will go with this bad boy. So now here we are. I asked Anne this morning, what should I expect from that wine? She said, a lot. So this is Niagara-on-the-Lake. This is the 4 Mile Creek appellation. Keep that in mind. One of the warmest spots in the country.
Oh,
This is
that
far
is
away
so
from
good.
the lake, so it's a hot spot right there. I haven't
And
tasted
Daryl
it
knows
yet.
Cab Franc is not my favorite thing all the time as far as the varietal, but holy cow, that's good.
Well, let's remind people. Where is it? So there was 2019 vintage from Lele Stonebridge was our number 6 wine of the year. Okay, got Franc here. One of our top 10. Now we have the 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon.
Nice. Oh, so this is the Cab Sauv that I just tasted.
Yeah, Cab Sauv. There's no Cab Franc.
Ah, okay. Well, it explains why I was like instantly like, wow, that's not like any Cab Franc I've ever had.
No, this is like, I don't know. I haven't tasted, but
I'm getting better at this, Carl. I'm getting better.
Yeah, this is not the dark cherry. It's more black. It's not dark cherry. It's not dark cherry sandalwood or like cherry wood. No. It's blackberry. It's black currant. It's a little bit of chocolate mint. It's pencil lead.
Mm.
It's tobacco, like the cigar box. Star anise.
Oh, it's something luxurious, that's for sure. When you smell
There's
this
so
one,
much depth in the nose of that wine.
it's kind of like going to the fragrance counter and smelling like a very high-end perfume or something. That's what I compare it to. Beautiful. Yeah, you're liking that. I can tell. See, even before he spits, he does the whole like you know he likes it.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. This is still bright though. It's not over extracted. I've tasted from the 2020 vintage from some other wineries a little too much. It was a little too heavy. There's the freshness on the mid palate, a little minty. It's like coffee, like espresso coffee. It's sweet tobacco leaves. It's chewy. This will last for freaking ever. It's not over. Like it's not hot. First and foremost, so the acid versus the alcohol are really well balanced. This is 14.5 in alcohol. It feels like 13.8. Like really, really, really well managed, well integrated. There's some oak spice, but it doesn't take the lead. It just comes perfectly in the sequence. Freaking love it. Holy crap, that's good.
And Mike's saying back in the day when, there weren't that many world-class Canadian wines around, maybe like 30 years ago, you didn't know exactly where to go to get something of this caliber. Lele was always known for making a decent Cab Sauv. I think now that their vines are older and they've got people like Peter Gamble and Anne Sperling making the wines, I mean, it's taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll give that a couple more years, but Jesus Christ, wow. I love that.
Girl's been impressed. I mean, you can't hide it.
I sure don't want to.
Nope. All right. Well, shall we go? Because you know what happened yesterday? Those of you that have ever been to our place.
The little splash of Merlot in there. Just to round it up. That's why there's that little roundness. There's no sharpness. It's not like that little, tabarnak. You're right, Mike, tabarnak. Yeah, yeah,
Those that have
yeah.
been to our place, they know that our neighbor makes the most epic pulled pork. If you've ever been fortunate enough to be here when he's making it, and he made us a pulled pork shoulder, and it's ready to go, and we got to go eat it. I can't wait.
Perfect. So yeah, it's going to be hard to choose which wine, but yeah, this is a good problem to have. So
Very
hey,
good.
another epic show. It was freaking awesome. It was great.
Thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad we got Sandy and Daryl firmed up for next week, and you guys are coming.
Michelle, John, and Michelle.
John and Michelle.
So now, our next show will be live on location. That's the next one. So we're leaving here. We're hopping on the plane on Saturday night. We're going to be with you guys on the eastern part of the country for a week. Our next show, live on location next week.
Now, to keep the stress lower on the lower side and make it a little bit more fun and interactive for the people that are live with us, we did pre-record short bits of interviews with Faik Turkman and Anne Sperling and Peter Gamble.
So right? I hinted it earlier. So I spoke with Anne and Peter this morning. I'm talking with Faik tomorrow morning. So we're gonna have these piece of interview playing during the live. So you and me, Mira, can be in the room high-fiving and freaking cheering with our members and the people from the industry, so we can then we'll
also have the live window into the room, and probably also we'll do the live blind tasting little challenge with the East and West Reserve Chardonnays. See if we can tell the difference between them and chat about that. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Mike Laplante, are you going to be willing to come live with me and Mira tomorrow next week? You're going to be on site. I would like to have 5 minutes with you, the average wine enthusiast, live with me, so we can say hi to our people across the country. If you're up for that, give me a thumbs up, and I would love to have you live with me.
Mike's planning to be there, and also we will be walking around. So, I mean, anybody that doesn't want to be live has to identify themselves beforehand, so I don't flash the camera your way, but hopefully everyone will be willing to say hi to all our members across the country through the live. So it'll be lots of fun. Daryl, that's awesome. Can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Fantastic.
Okay, Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, Mira Boucher,
Carl Boucher, let's do this.
See you next time.
You guys in Niagara. Cheers.
You got the song?
You like this song now?
I want this song.
Right. It's fun. It's like a little song at the end. Yeah, baby. Let's go have that capstone with some pulled pork. Let's do it.